We bring you the latest edition of MBC News with me, Kumbukani Piri, and Savita Wirima, our sign language interpreter tonight. Our top stories. The Minister of Finance agrees to meet parliamentary cluster chairpersons over budget views. Vote counting underway following voting in by-elections held in some constituencies and wards across the country. The Reserve Bank of Malawi announces the conversion of 2 currency denominations from banknotes into coins. Well, I'm glad you could join us. Minister of Finance Joseph Mwanamveka has assured the chairperson of all parliamentary cluster committees that he will meet all cluster chairpersons to hear views gathered during cluster meetings on the proposed national budget. This follows a request by the chairperson of all cluster committees, Savel Kafofa, who asked for an audience with the Minister of Finance so that cluster leaders could present concerns and recommendations collected during their deliberations. Zachitika has details.
Mwanamveka said the meeting with cluster chairpersons will provide an opportunity for members to submit their proposals, and adding that government is ready to consider possible changes to the budget where necessary. He stressed that engaging parliamentary clusters is important in ensuring that the budget reflects the needs of Malawians.
We do welcome the question or the observation made by the chair of chairs that indeed maybe because previously we used to meet chairs of committees. We used also to meet chairs of public accounts and also chairs of budget. But this being our first budget, obviously we'll make sure that we meet them. And actually, I've already committed that we'll meet them because it is very important that when the budget comes here, all the chairs of the committees need to know what is in the budget and should be able to debate and perhaps know in terms of oversight when they go back home.
In his response, the chairperson of chairs, Savel Kafofa, welcomed the minister's decision, saying this is the first time cluster leaders have been given such an opportunity to directly engage the Minister of Finance on the budget. He commended the Democratic Progressive Party DPP government for the initiative, saying the consultations will help improve the budget and ensure smooth implementation once it is passed by Parliament.
I was appealing to the Minister of Finance to grant us a platform where the cluster chairs should give him a feedback on how the discussion has been, and so that then if there will be adjustments or some justification on why they can't adjust, we should understand it as their clusters. We know the country is going through some financial challenges and that the budget is already in a deficit, but there are other areas which we feel will help to improve our economy if that is implemented in the budget. So the discussion with the 229 members of parliament and all the stakeholders involved for the past 2 weeks is what we want to discuss with the Minister of Finance. But I'm happy that for the first time, the Minister of Finance and this government have made that provision that we are going to have that discussion. If it's not exactly today, but maybe tomorrow.
This will be the first time in history for Minister of Finance to have an audience with cluster chairpersons getting their views on proposed 2026-2027 national budget. Zachitika, MBC, Parliament, Lilongwe.
Minister of Transport and Public Works, Japie Mhango, has disclosed that the poor condition of some roads in the country is due to failure by the previous Malawi Congress Party MCP government to properly maintain them. Mhango made the remarks in Parliament while responding to questions from members of Parliament during question time directed to his ministry regarding the state of roads across the country. He said lack of routine maintenance in past years has contributed to the deterioration of several roads, making them costly to rehabilitate. He assured Malawians that government has set aside funds aimed at improving road infrastructure as well as plans to revamp water transport.
The Malawi Congress Party, the former government, did concede that during their time they were not able to raise enough money through levy. The money that is used to maintain roads. As a result, therefore, all our roads have been damaged. And I did indicate at some point that if we have got roads standing in this country, out of all our roads, perhaps only 2 or 3 are still standing. The rest are destroyed. So both tertiary, secondary, as well as primary roads, all of them are gone. So as a government, we are already planning to start maintaining these roads beginning this financial year. Procurement of contractors, maintenance contractors have already been done, signed off. All we're waiting for now is for the budget to be passed, and once that's done, we're good to go. We would want to make sure that we maintain roads that have been damaged at least by 31st December this year, and that's the guidance from the President. We must make sure that all those that have been damaged have been maintained. But that will be happening side by side. As we are maintaining roads, also we'll continue building roads that are probably stalled. Those that are continuing, all of them must be, being built simultaneously. So basically, that's where we are headed to.
On the issue of revamping water transport from Nkhotakota Central?
Correct. That is part of the National Transport Master Plan that was launched by the President, Professor Zachitika, in 2017. The plan speaks to all modes of transport, so be it air, road, rail, as well as maritime.
The Minister of Health, Madalitso Baloyi, says government will ensure that pregnant women deliver in health facilities that are clean and have adequate water supply. Baloyi made the remarks in Lilongwe during the launch of a campaign called Time to Deliver. We have details in this report by Mike Kalumbi.
Speaking at the launch, Baloyi said the government has put in place various measures to prevent diseases affecting pregnant women due to lack of water and poor sanitation in health facilities. She added that the government is committed to ensuring that all health facilities in the country are hygienic and have sufficient water supply.
To make sure that women are giving birth in clean environments, we want to make sure that we safeguard the children that are being born. We want to make sure that we reduce the infections that are there. And this is a national drive, and we make sure as the Ministry of Health and Sanitation that we drive it.
For his part, Head of Policy and Advocacy at Waterhead, Chandiwira Chisi, said the organization saw it necessary to launch the campaign as one way of addressing the challenges pregnant women face due to water shortages.
Observed quite a lot of things over the years, and we've been working towards fixing or filling up the gaps in terms of providing water sanitation and hygiene systems, but then the problem turns out to be bigger than we had expected, and we thought we needed to bring the attention of the government, but also all key stakeholders to understand what's happening, especially the way the issue of WASH is affecting mothers.
The campaign, launched by WaterAid in collaboration with other organizations such as WestNet and the White Ribbon Alliance, will run until 2028. Activities under the campaign include raising awareness of the importance of clean health facilities with adequate water supply. Mike Kalumbi, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Project Hope Namibia, under the ANAPA project, has donated assorted items to Blantyre District Health Office, DHO, as a way of helping to deal with the cholera outbreak in the district. The donated items include chlorine, hand-washing buckets, social behavior communication materials like leaflets and posters. Country representative for Project Hope Namibia, Dr. Endel Tilahun, explains.
So as part of this initiative, when we see the cholera outbreak that started the 11th of December, so far we have 131 cases confirmed. Blantyre bear the highest burden, and other districts ANAPA operates also are affected. So overall, 2/3 of the cases are in districts where ANAPA is operating. So we have been in a process of mobilizing resources through the Project Hope Namibia, and Project Hope Global Office. We mobilized resources from Merck to be able to fund some activities that initiate the support. However, in addition to this small funding, our main donor, Department of State under U.S. government, is also, having us a scope in terms of supporting the cholera outbreak response within the framework of prevent, detect and respond to the cholera outbreaks. That's how we have decided, considering the case burden, we have decided to support Blantyre and Lilongwe with this social behavior change communication, health education materials, and case, cholera outreach services towards case tracing and case management, supporting the case management and prevention of deaths from the cholera outbreak.
In his remarks, Director of Health and Social Services for Blantyre, Dr. Gift Kawalazira, thanked the organization for the donation, saying it will help in responding to the outbreak.
So for starters, we are very grateful for the donation that I've actually received from Project Hope, ANAPA project, to help us actually respond to the cholera scourge that has actually affected Blantyre, especially Blantyre City. Currently, about 59 people have actually been confirmed to have had the disease in Blantyre, and 8 of those have actually passed away. And 4 of those are actually community deaths, so the people died before they came to the hospitals, and the other 4 died in our clinics. So this donation that is consisting of buckets for hand washing facilities as well as chlorine for the treatment of water in the communities is going to actually go a long way in helping the communities to actually prevent the further spread of the disease. The chlorine is going to actually help them to treat the water that they get from unsafe sources so that the water becomes safe before they can actually use it. And the buckets will actually help us to actually set up hand washing facilities in different public places. But there are also flyers and leaflets that will help us to disseminate the message to the community. Our message to the community is that we have cholera with us in the communities. So issues to do with water, sanitation and hygiene must be taken seriously by everyone.
Minister of Information Shadrack Namalomba has asked the Malawi Congress Party MCP to explain why cases of missing persons with albinism are often reported when the party is in opposition. Namalomba made the remarks in the August House on Tuesday afternoon after Member of Parliament for Lilongwe Piriranjuzi Peter Dimba raised a point of order on the disappearance of a boy with albinism in his constituency. According to Namalomba, abductions and killings of persons with albinism have in the past been reported when MCP was not in government, a situation he said raises serious questions. He warned that anyone involved in such malpractice will face the full force of the law once apprehended.
Every time when the Malawi Congress Party is in opposition, that's when we hear stories of people, of our brothers and of our sisters, of our mothers and our daughters with albinism being butchered, going missing. And we are wondering. And we have statistics. When we were in opposition, not a single person, not a single case was registered. But immediately they went into opposition and we went into government, we see people, and these are stories that every day, and exactly today, there is also a story of a missing person with albinism. And we are wondering, and so we want to ask Malawians, if politics is like this, that when you are in opposition, you would want now to use the suffering of people and so that you gain political mileage. And this is not politics. This is not life. This is not humanity. Investigations underway, the police is attending to it, and very soon you will see what is going to be happening. Because the government of His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika is an inclusive government. It wants everyone who is a Malawian in Malawi to enjoy the fruits of democracy.
Meanwhile, Dimba informed the House that the missing boy, identified as Lero from Chimgonera village under traditional authority Masumbankunda in Lilongwe, has been missing for 5 days. He has since called on government to intensify efforts to locate the child and ensure the safety of persons with albinism in the area.
I had an opportunity to bring to the attention of the Deputy Speaker as well as the Honourable Minister of Homeland Security and the entire House about the missing of a young.
The Minister of Finance agrees to meet parliamentary cluster chairpersons over budget views. Vote counting underway following voting in by-elections held in some constituencies and wards across the country. The Reserve Bank of Malawi announces the conversion of 2 currency denominations from banknotes into coins.
Pakana fika tu 15 basi ndiye ngongole yathu izikhayo ngokwanitsa kugula bunya yathu. Anzanga, antu 15 tingatenge ngongole oneka kugulu.
Mpaka kumendo kwa chemwamba. Kwa ngwa sanje chake. 4% yoka basi.
Musanduze. 4% basi. Ndechaka chinotienda chokhala.
Finka ikuoneka kumeneko. Finka Village Bank imathandiza amagulu kugulisa business zawo limodzi molimba mtima. Pitani ku branch ya Finka kapena kwa agent wapafupi nanu. Finka Village Bank tigulire limodzi. Ndondomeko zonse zizasatidwa.
Vote counting is underway in polling centres of 4 constituencies and 9 wards where the by-elections took place. The Malawi Electoral Commission (MEC) has since said all polling stations remained operational throughout the day despite some challenges that were experienced in a few centres, particularly due to rainfall in certain parts of the country. In a press statement aimed at providing an update to the nation, MEC Director of Media and Public Relations Nkhani says the Commission has worked with polling staff to ensure that such challenges were addressed and that the voting process continued in an orderly manner. He said once counting is complete, the results will be recorded on official result sheets, which will be signed by the presiding officer and the political party and independent candidate representatives present. Vote counting is underway in Chilobwe Ward in Chilobwe constituency in Lilongwe following a by-election that took place on Tuesday. Our reporter Catherine Banda visited some centres and she explains.
According to the presiding officers in the centres that MPC visited in Chilobwe Ward, voting exercise took place smoothly despite the rainy weather, with polling exercise relocated to classrooms to ensure uninterrupted voting. Most centres opened around 6 a.m. in the morning and closed around 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Chilobwe Ward by-election follows the death of one of the contestants in the 16 September elections, Mandashe Pakamwendo, who died in August 2025. Chilobwe Ward has 29,190 registered voters and 14 polling centres. 4 male contestants are battling for this post from DPP, MCP and 2 independent candidates. Meanwhile, the Malawi Electoral Commission, MEC Chairperson Justice Annabel Ntalimanja, said the Commission is working with service providers for effective results transmission as MEC IT personnel are also on standby. Catherine Banda, MPC News, Lilongwe.
And in Karonga, our reporter Blessings Zachitika says the exercise is progressing well. He explains.
Voting in Karonga, especially at the Yembe polling center, I should say we've closed and counting is done. I had a chat with the chief elections officer. He's saying we're about 41%. We'll take it back to what happened in the morning. In the morning, we arrived here at 6 exactly. The first polling station, we had about 517 people that are supposed to vote. But the very first one came at 6:15. The other side, it came about around 6:30. When we tried to move around other centers, we understood that people were not coming in large numbers. And when we tried to find out, one of the presiding officers, Mr. Pekchawinga, said that he thought it was because it was raining in the morning. We had heavy rains in the morning. Even for me to get here, it was difficult for me to get here, but it wasn't okay. So he suggested that people maybe couldn't show up early because of that. But around lunch, I should say around 10, it picked up, but not that impressive. Around lunchtime, it died down. Then later, it picked up around 3. But still more, I think we didn't get the numbers up maybe how they expected. Briefly, that's what I can say about the turnout and also what happened today at Yembe, especially at the Yembe polling center.
In Rumpi Central, we have Efrida Chinkwita Muyawa.
I'm here at the Bumba Primary school where they were casting votes, and the counting of votes is underway. And during the day, everything went well, despite the rains that were there. So there was no any other challenges apart from at RI2 primary school, where they started a bit late because of the presiding officer there was unable to log in. And at Chikwawa, some were not captured well using the cameras, but everything was fine. So far, I can say the main challenge that was there, the greatest challenge is rain.
And in Blantyre, our reporter Ruth Chinangwa is in Blantyre West constituency and now gives a picture of the electoral events there.
Indeed, vote counting has started here at Blantyre West, where there were by-elections for members of parliament. So NBC visited a number of polling centers in the afternoon, including the Kachanga, Chikumukire, Andiseni, Chikuwa Court, Kalufu, CBO, Chikuli, Kuntimbe Youth Resource Center, Nejiro Primary School, and Tubulugo. And on our part, we have seen that some have tried to come out to cast their ballot, but in some areas there were challenges pertaining to the persistent rains that are still coming in Blantyre. Suffice to say, Blantyre rural has also been affected, and most people did not come out as expected to cast their ballot. So we are expecting that maybe tomorrow afternoon we'll be wrapping up everything that has happened here, and we'll hand over to Tally Center in Nilongwe.
In Mikongo Ward in Mangochi, we have our reporter Francis Banda, who now tells us the progress of the electoral process.
Well, in Mangochi, the by-election started, of course, on a low note because of the heavy rains that has been pouring down since yesterday, but all in all, everything went on well. Most of the centers opened at exactly 6 o'clock, despite a number of challenges that were coming because of the heavy rains that was coming. People came to the centers, though in low numbers, but the numbers peaked as the time went. When it was about 12, a lot of people were coming and the numbers improved. Also, we have to say that when time was 4 o'clock, the center, especially at Marukula, where we are speaking from, closed at exactly 4 o'clock because it opened as was expected at 6 o'clock. And those who came after 4 o'clock were sent back, and then they were not allowed to vote because of breaching time the Malawi Electoral Commission put for the vote to open and close. So that's how it was here in Mangochi, but everything went on well, apart from a few challenges that were brought in, especially because of the heavy rains.
Currently, what is happening?
Currently, counting has started in some centers, and here at Marukula, we've seen a big progress, and maybe it can't go up to 8 o'clock before maybe the results are transferred to the Tally Center at Malindi. We call it Chimbende, where the Tally Center is.
Deputy Minister of Home Affairs Norman Chisale has donated 4 million kwacha to Chilobwe Police Unit in recognition of their excellent work in improving security in the area. Speaking on behalf of the Deputy Minister, Southwest Regional Police Commissioner Lovemore Mabumba said that the Deputy Minister has made the donation to motivate police officers across the country in upholding professionalism and commitment when discharging their duties.
The amount that has been given is 4 million kwacha cash. This has happened following the monitoring and inspection visit that the Honorable Minister conducted last Saturday night within the commitment of seeing and appreciating how the police is performing in terms of visibility in the public. When the honorable Deputy Minister came to Chilobwe, he was impressed with the performance of police officers on the ground. Their visibility was very, very strategic, such that it pleased him to support them, considering that they need further to enhance their visibility and they need money for more fuel so that they can better serve the community. It has indeed motivated us. We appreciate the support given by the Honorable Minister. As police, we talk of community policing, where we're talking of the participation of various stakeholders, including even those that are holding key government positions like the Honorable Deputy Minister, to support police activities. And that is the true meaning of community policing in whatever dimensions and from whatever angle that you can support the police.
Receiving the donation, Chilobo Police Officer in Charge, Superintendent Francis Nserebo, expressed gratitude for the gesture, saying that it will go a long way towards addressing some of the operational challenges faced by the police unit.
We've been meeting a lot of challenges in terms of transport mobility because we are covering the area from Chensomba to Zingwangwa. So you can see the area is too vast. To move on foot, it's always difficult. So with the coming in of this donation from the Honorable Minister, we really thank him because it will cater for the challenges that we were facing. So we really thank him for that.
Now, the Reserve Bank of Malawi has announced the conversion of 2 currency denominations from banknotes into coins. Governor of the Reserve Bank of Malawi, George Patridge, made the announcement during a press briefing in Lilongwe. Patridge hopes the introduction of the coins will help cut down currency replacement costs, which are still relatively high. Details in this report by Trust Office.
The announcement of the conversion of the 50 kwacha and 20 kwacha banknotes into coins comes as part of the central bank's efforts towards an efficient, cost-effective and sustainable currency structure. Reserve Bank of Malawi Governor George Patridge said that the conversion of the banknotes will help reduce replacement costs.
I think it's 4 million pieces for 50 kwacha and 1.6 million pieces for 20 kwacha every month. That is demanded by members of the public. So the demand is low, but we still have to fulfill that demand to maintain the integrity of our currency structure. In terms of the cost, I think in the whole currency structure, we spent last year about 45 billion kwacha.
According to the governor, the central bank releases 4 million 50 kwacha banknotes as well as 1.6 million 20 kwacha banknotes monthly, a development which shows substantial demand for these denominations. Trust Office, MBC News, Lilongwe.
The body of former Netball Association of Malawi NAM General Secretary Helen Mbinganjira Sosa will be laid to rest on Thursday at her home village in Lumbadzi, Lilongwe. Mbinganjira died today at Queen Elizabeth Central Hospital in Blantyre at the age of 65. Apart from being NAM's former longest-serving General Secretary, Mbinganjira also served as board member for the Malawi National Council of Sports from 2021 to 2025. At the time of her death, she was an administrator for Tigers' netball club. NAM President Vitumbiko Gubuduza has described her death as a huge loss to the game. Well, on that note, we wrap up this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories. The Minister of Finance agrees to meet parliamentary cluster chairpersons over budget views. Vote counting underway following voting in by-elections held in some constituencies and wards across the country. The Reserve Bank of Malawi announces the conversion of 2 currency denominations from banknotes into coins. For the latest news, follow our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You've been with me, Kumbukani Piri, and Savita Wiruma, our sign language interpreter. Thanks for watching and good night.